All right, YouTube, what's up? It's your boy, Jamie, man. We're gonna be talking about this fight. All right, this Izzy and Jared fight. My thoughts on it, will it, anything, things like that. All right, so let's get right into it. First off, I thought the fight was competitive. I thought it was very competitive. While Izzy didn't take any risk, while Jared pretty much for the most part he took a few risks. Not, I thought he could have did a little bit more. I don't think that fight was boring. I'm not gonna say I wasn't snoozing. I wasn't like, you know what I mean? I feel like the Max fight and Volk fight was a little bit more, if you want to talk about boring, that fight wasn't nowhere near close to boring. But if you want to talk about someone getting purely dominated for 5 rounds, that's not fun to watch. That's not entertaining to watch. All right. But I mean, Izzy got the job done. This is my thing, all right. Anderson Silva, boring fights. He had boring fights. Damian Maia, Cote, the Diaz fight was boring. A lot of people don't know. If you go back and watch that Diaz fight, that fight was fucking boring. GSP has had boring fights. John Jones has had boring fights. Kamaru, when he was coming up as a contender, had boring fights. Even Tyron Woodley, some people say Tyron Woodley fights were boring. He quote unquote had boring fights. So you know what I mean? Like, when you're a champion for so long, when you go on these long title reigns, I think over 3 is a pretty long title reign. When you go on these long title reigns, that tends to happen because you're not getting finishes. You feel like, all right, I've gotten finishes. It's to the point where I don't want to take any risks because I've built up this win streak. I've built up this reign. Why would I take risks to entertain the fan to get a KO? Or would I just win this fight and keep the streak going? You know what I mean? I see a lot of people say, well, Izzy said he was gonna get a KO finish, and people say a lot of things. Tony Ferguson is my favorite fighter. Tony Ferguson lost to Charles, he lost to Benil, he got KO'd by Chandler, and he lost to Gaethje. And in all 4 of those fights, he said that he was gonna finish every single one of them. He finished none of them. He didn't finish none of them. He got dominated pretty much all of those fights. People said a lot of things. Curtis Blades said he was going to come out and strike Volkov. What did he do? He wrestled him. So I don't put too much value into what a fighter is going to say. If you did that, and that's a cop-out excuse, I'm gonna say that because I've seen a lot of people that I know personally said that. I feel like that's a cop-out excuse. If you say the fight was boring because he said that he was going to get a finish and he didn't get it, so therefore the fight is boring. That's a cop-out excuse. So because someone said they were going to do something and they didn't do it, the fight is just boring. Come on, man. The fight was ultra competitive. I enjoyed the fight. I loved the fight. I love the co-main and the main. I just feel like people don't understand when he entered the cage unscathed. He walked out unscathed. A lot of people would call that a perfect fight, in a sense, because he left unscathed. He came in unscathed. He did what he had to do to win. He didn't. Why should the champion take necessary risk? I don't understand. Why should he take unnecessary risk? Really don't understand that. I can't grasp that concept. Jared Cannonier is a powerful striker. You want him to push the pace and stand in front of Jared and pretty much give up. As I whiff that jumpy spinning kick, what the fuck am I doing? You want him to pretty much stand in front of Jared Cannonier, who is a purebred power puncher, and try to pick him apart standing in front of him and give him a stationary target, and pretty much for the most part a stationary target because he's standing directly in front of him. You want him to push the pace. He's going to have to, in a sense, be a little bit more aggressive against Jared. And you want him to give up you want him to give Jared the opportunity to possibly KO him. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, man. And it's easier said than done because we all sit from the comfort of our homes, couches, wherever you watch the fight. It's easier to say, oh, he could have walked him down. Oh, this is that. But when you're in the moment, when you're in the fight, when you got somebody that's literally trying to take what you work for, when you got somebody like Jared Cannonier, brawling, punch power, those things are going through your head. You're not thinking about, what so and so with 10K followers said on Twitter as I get KO'd. That's tough. You're not worried about what so and so with 10K followers said on Twitter. Oh, I need to entertain him because he said I was boring. They're not thinking about that, man. I promise you, they're not thinking. They're thinking about winning the fight. Like I said, champions with long reigns, they tend to get called boring because they realize that taking necessary risk. What is the point in that? You know what I mean? Why? Jose Aldo is another great example. Jose Aldo was brutalizing people in WEC. I believe around like his fourth defense, Jose Aldo, for example, after he beat Matt Hominick, he fought, was it Chad or Kenny? I can't remember. Somebody down below can let me. People were talking about how Jose was boring because he wasn't taking risks, and Jose literally was fighting perfectly. He wasn't getting finishes, don't get me wrong, he was getting decisions, but people were calling him boring. And then obviously he KO'd Chad, and then he fought Frankie, decision. Oh, he's boring again. Then I believe he got a what did he KO Ricardo Lamas? I can't remember, but people were calling him boring because he was getting decisions. John Jones most recently, Dominic Reyes, Thiago Santos, he got called boring. Well, the Thiago Santos fight in particular, he got called boring. So I mean, like, it's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure once Izzy gets to, I promise you, if he gets in his next defense, if he gets a KO, nobody's gonna care about the OL fight. Nobody's gonna care because it's gonna overshadow it. Just like with Anderson, just like with everybody, bro. It happens. It happens. A lot of people don't know GSP got booed in his home country because the fight was boring. It happens. In the minute they start getting finishes, or the minute they retire, people start to appreciate it a little bit more. So I really don't put too much stock in it. Like I said, I enjoyed the fight. The fight was fun to me. What y'all think down below in the comments? What y'all thought about the fight? Izzy's title reign, things like that. Peace, love, and prosperity. Love every single one of y'all. Do something productive with your day. BD, you hear me? It's not productive. I love y'all. Y'all stay up, stay blessed. It's been your boy Jamie, man. I'm home, man. Peace.